We used to hold camps for children. And in one of the camps, an experimental thing happened. While observing how the children are competitive in trying to win, we were able to understand an important social psychology chapter about the in group and out group. Hi, my name is Davinder Singh, also known as Tony. Today I'm going to discuss with you about one of the incidents that happened at our camps. So, in the camps, we used to divide the children into four groups or jathas. And for the 7 day events, all the exercises, all the things that we did in the camp were based on competition. So every jatha or every group would try to compete on every aspect. At the end, whichever group got the best points would win. So the first 2 days, we observed that the leaders of these camps were very hands on and trying to spur their groups into making the best. You know, After 2 days, we did something unusual. We swapped these leaders, telling them reasons that somehow you need to go to the other jathas. It's an imbalance. We need to change. Now, the first 2 days, they had already made these groups, the children in their group, as their family, as their in group. Now, after 2 days of trying to make the best know your group, you tell the leader to go to the other group. For one day, all these four leaders were not able to find themselves fitting in the new group because these were the um, enemy groups for the first 2 days. And those who they considered as family are now their enemies. But for the next 5 days, they did what was required, and in the end, they did their job. But what we realized is this sense of the in group is all in your head, because the first 2 days you think this is your in group. And then after those 2 days, for the next 5 days, you now have to consider the enemy to be your in group. This chapter of psychology was coined by Henry Tajfel in 1970s. His colleagues understood how people find themselves very strongly affiliated to their in group, whether it is their nationality, their religion, their culture, their skin color. All that becomes very hardcore for them because they feel very comfortable in their in group. But what happens with that is that comfort then turns into discrimination towards the other people. The out group then becomes the enemy, the stranger, the pariahs. Now you're very on guard about them because they are opposites to your philosophy, your nationality, your beliefs. So you start feeling threatened by them. And this is something that was also in one of the movies, an old time Hindi movie, Dharmputra, where the protagonist grows up into one religion, very strong about it. And years later, he finds out that actually he was adopted and now he belongs to the opposite religion. But then he realizes that all his prejudice about this in group and out group was all in his head. Let me share an important historical fact with you about 12 missiles, 12 missiles in Punjab. In the 18th century, there was a time when Sikhs were hunted by the invaders, by the rulers, but slowly they grew very powerful and they divided themselves into 12 zones. And these 12 zones were called missiles. And they had prominent Sikh leaders. You must be knowing them by their names: Jassa Singh Ahluwalia, Jassa Singh Ramgarhia, Baba Deep Singh Ji, Nawab Kapoor Singh. All these prominent Sikh leaders were about that era. Now, these 12 were the 12 zones that protected themselves, but everyone acted as a family to be able to shoo off the invaders, and ultimately they were able to do that. They became so sovereign that now they enjoyed their liberation. But the sad thing that happened is, once the danger of the invaders did not exist, they started fighting among themselves. The in group became enemies among themselves, the other became the out group. And when they started fighting, then came a missile, Shukar Chakya, and their leader, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, then consolidated and combined all these missiles to form Sikh Raj. And my point is, the same in group that was fighting with the external danger, they started fighting among themselves when they thought the external danger is out. Today, the nationalities and the religions are still fighting among themselves because they think there is no external danger. So they see each other as the enemies. I wish all religions were able to understand these simple lines. Awwal Allah Noor Upaya Kudrat ke sab bande. Ek noor te sab jag upjya kaun pale ko mande. From one source of light, from one energy, we all come into existence. We all are the offsprings of this earth, of this universe. Ek noor te sab jag upjya. From one light, everything has come about. Who are good? Who are your people? And who are outsiders? Who are bad? None. Think about this. Today, if there is an alien attacking this earth, you know what will happen? All the nationalities will join together to fight with that alien enemy. All the religions will join hands to fight off that enemy. With whatever resources we have, we'll fight that common enemy, right? We won't have animosity among ourselves if we know that there is an enemy outside. What we don't realize is we still have a lot of enemies. Commonly, we need to fight them. Addictions, non-employments, divorces, homeless. There is so much poverty, so much hunger, anxiety, depression. People are dying because of addictions to drugs, alcohol, smoking. Youngsters are committing suicides. Don't we see these as our enemies, spoiling our coming generations? Isn't it time we all join hands together and said we still have a lot of enemies to fight with? Forget about the whole world. Let you and me change our thinking. Let's not look at people as outsiders. A person who belongs to a different religion has a different ideology. Despite the fact that we can have our differences, can we work towards the enemies that I just talked about? Can I see that person still knowledgeable and helpful in the sense when it comes to helping my children in the future? And may the blessings of Guru reside with us and eradicate these negativities we have towards the outsiders. There are no outsiders, all are one. Thank you so much for listening. Ji, apologies for the mistakes. Gur Fateh, Sat Sri Akal, Salam Namaste. Thank you so much. See you again.